Part 2 of Full Court Press basketball debate.
What's that on your name?
November 24th. Just a scab. We're done with the quotes, so now we're on to headlines. The Hornets' Jeff Taylor suspended 24 games for domestic violence abuse. This had come out in preseason. This was the Charlotte guy that hasn't played this year because he was awaiting his court hearing. You remember that?
Yeah, but what did he do again?
Domestic violence.
Girlfriend, wife?
Yes, the girlfriend.
What did he do, supposedly?
Beat her.
This is not the one in the elevator, that's right.
No, that's NFL.
Right.
This was the one for the NBA. There was like 3 for the NFL and 1 for the NBA. That's this.
Oh, and she's still with him.
Had his court hearing, and Adam Silver suspended him for 24 games. Your thoughts, and Yvonne, is this the right punishment? Why or why not?
Is she still with him?
No. You're thinking of Ray Rice.
Okay, she's not with him
No.
anymore.
No.
Okay. Is this the right punishment? When it comes to things like child abuse, domestic violence abuse, battery, picking a fight in a bar, like all of these athletes have a tendency to do, okay? It's very difficult for me to be objective about this.
Of course it is.
Because, as far as I'm concerned...
Because it's a crime, first of all.
Well, yeah. Okay. Let's take this in stages. First of all, if any John Brown off the street, or you, or Jim, or anybody else would do some of what these other guys do, NBA players, NFL players, golf players, I don't care what team sport it is. If you would do what some of these guys are doing, they would put you under the jail. Do these guys get preferential treatment and get easier sentences because they are athletes, they are valuable to the team, and there's probably some money that exchanges hands under the table? Probably so. So asking me, do I think being suspended for 24 games for beating up his girlfriend is a severe enough punishment? My immediate response to you would be no. He should be kicked off the team. That's the emotional side of me, okay? And I recognize that and I own it. Because as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that could be worse than this would be child abuse. And we are setting a precedence. And we are saying that, well, we know we have to punish you. We know you broke the law. We know that she pressed charges against you and she was black and blue, had a split lip, a black eye, you broke some, whatever the case may be, okay? I always go back to the fact that there's some little 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old boy out there who may look up to this Jeff Taylor and think to himself, oh, it's okay to treat women like this. And that's wrong. You have to set an example. These guys should not be put on a higher pedestal and should not be given a different set of rules that they are judged by just because they're athletes. Okay? I'm sorry. For those of you out there that are Ben Roethlisberger fans, I don't care if he's married now or not. The man never served time. The man never was penalized. It's like the man never did anything wrong. I don't care what a good quarterback he is. I don't care how good you are at your sport. I don't think you should be glorified, and I don't think that your crime should be swept under the rug just because you're an athlete. So if you're asking me my thoughts about it, no, I don't think it was the right punishment.
Okay.
I think anybody who has to put their hands on a woman, on a child, on a stranger, has to go to a bar and get drunk and pick a fight. Anything of that nature. Violence is violence.
Okay. With all that being said, I agree to a certain extent. Ben Roethlisberger, couldn't agree more. And your rant on domestic violence and how they should be looked at, they shouldn't be looked at in a different light as far as the justice system, I completely agree. We have to keep in mind that this 24-game suspension did not come from a criminal justice system. This was Adam Silver's suspension for Jeff Taylor.
So it never went to court?
It went to court,
And he was found guilty.
yes, but he hasn't been sentenced yet.
Okay, then he shouldn't be able to play.
That's not up to Adam Silver. The owner. Adam Silver has handed down his punishment. Now it's up to the Charlotte Hornets. What do they want to do with Jeff Taylor? The ball's in their court now because he's on their team. Adam Silver cannot say, Jeff Taylor, you have to get off of the Charlotte Hornets team.
Why not if he's in
Because
charge?
that's not his team. Somebody owns that team.
I
Michael
understand that,
Jordan.
but the owner reports
But Michael Jordan.
to Adam Silver.
But Michael Jordan, who by the way is the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, has to hand down a suspension of his. Has to hand down a punishment to Jeff Taylor.
Okay, so Adam Silver cannot override whatever Michael Jordan says?
Not as long as he's a part of the team. If Michael Jordan says, oh, we don't want him anymore, we're releasing him. He's a free agent. He doesn't play on a team. In other words, he's not making a salary.
Okay, then Adam Silver
Then Adam Silver could say, you're out of the NBA.
You're out of the NBA.
But as long as he is affiliated with a team and is making a base salary with a contract, Adam Silver cannot kick him off of the Charlotte Hornets. Michael Jordan can, which eventually I think he will.
So he's limited as to how much he can do, Adam Silver.
Yes. As far as future goes.
Right. I did not know that.
Now,
Okay. You just
so-
educated me.
So,
Has anybody asked Michael Jordan about this?
no, very sensitive. I don't blame anybody for not asking him about it right now. I don't blame anybody for not asking
When is the
him.
sentencing?
I don't know.
What did he do to this girlfriend? Because I've lost track.
The words where he beat her, I don't know. We don't know. We'll probably never know.
No, because not everybody's stupid
The
enough
point
to be
is-
like Ray Rice and have it on video.
The point is, you did it. Okay? So if you're asking me, did Adam Silver hand down the right punishment? Yes, he did. Not to mention the fact that this came about,
That's only 1/4 of the games being played.
but he hasn't played it all this season so far. So it ends up really being almost a 40-game suspension, which is half the season.
Okay. And you don't know when it is the court system is supposed to...
And, okay,
Seventeen.
honest to God, we know Michael Jordan. We know Michael Jordan. He is not one, excuse my French, to deal with bullshit. Okay? We know Michael Jordan.
Family means a great deal to
He
him.
doesn't want that on his team.
Well, it would make him look bad.
Trust me. Okay? So, honestly, we can probably say that Michael Jordan is going to release Jeff Taylor.
So Jeff
Okay.
Taylor's career is probably over.
Pretty close.
And the girl never went back to him.
No. No. So if you're asking
Good
me,
for her.
if you're asking me, and keep in mind this came about not because of the NFL stuff, but all of the NFL stuff kind of lent its hand in bringing this to fruition.
Of course it did. It puts
Now-
it in the news.
Which means this is the first one in the NBA. You talk about setting a precedence. Adam Silver just set a
I
precedence.
think a lot of the precedents, even though it didn't have anything to do with domestic violence, but being in the spotlight in the media, happened last year over the, what's his name? With all the race comments.
Donald Sterling.
Yes.
Okay, but
Once
wait.
you put somebody in the headlines like that?
Wait. That went to court.
Yeah.
And that was settled in a civil system. I'm talking about NBA here. I'm talking about in the office, Commissioner Adam Silver handing down a suspension because he said, remember on one of our preseason debates, one of the topics was the NBA is going to harden up on domestic violence cases.
Yeah.
Okay?
As they should.
We had not seen one yet. This is
Okay.
the first one.
Okay.
Keep in mind he hasn't played all season, and Charlotte is 4-10 right now. That's
Yeah.
14 games plus 24.
Yeah.
Do the math. That's 38 games.
Okay.
NBA season's an 82-game season. That's half the season.
Okay.
By handing down this suspension,
Did he hand down a 24-game suspension because by that time they will have made a decision about
don't
his
know.
sentence in the
I
court
don't
system?
know.
Okay.
nobody knows why Adam Silver did it. The point is, this dude just got suspended for half the season. You talked about setting a precedence.
Yeah.
Adam Silver just set a precedence.
Okay.
I admire the hell out of him
Okay, well,
for this
I didn't
suspension.
know about all those.
Oh,
particulars.
absolutely. I am
Okay.
so with this, 100%.
Okay.
Next topic. The Wizards' Bradley Beal returns from the wrist injury. We talked about the game and we talked about the fact that we have 21 points. I want to ask you, how will Bradley Beal help Washington going forward?
Okay, I have a question for you before I answer this. How long's he been out? Is he healed?
Well, his first game,
Is he well?
in his first game, he scored 21. He looks pretty well.
Okay, you know how these guys push themselves. And sometimes they don't give them long enough in rehab and they don't let them heal enough. I was struggling for Kobe last night because there's a couple of times that he bent over on the court and he grabbed his knees and he was huffing and puffing, and I thought to myself, my man, you need to sit down. But if it hadn't been for Kobe, they wouldn't have had the points. Not that it ended up helping them win in the end. Of course he's going to help Washington. Why would he not?
He's going to help Washington simply because on some teams, you've got one guy that sticks out.
Yeah.
On other teams, example of that, can you think of an example of that? Where one guy sticks out. Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
On some teams, you've got a 1-2 punch.
Right. And on some
Can you think of an example?
On some you've got three, like the Cavaliers we were just talking about.
Oh, the Cavaliers are not a 3-punch right now. That's a 2-punch team between
Right.
Irving and LeBron.
Dwayne Wade, yeah.
And then on other teams, you've got 1-2-3. That knockout shot. The Spurs.
Okay. Wait a minute. Whoa. We're going to argue about this one. We're going to agree to disagree. They may be the top team players, but to me, the Spurs are the most unified team you're going to find.
Okay, I agree. But in the end, who's going to come out for you?
Okay, all
that
right.
1-2-3 punch.
Okay, all right. I follow what you're saying.
Not that
But
I'm comparing.
You can't underrate everybody else.
Absolutely not. But I'm saying at the
Okay.
top of the food chain,
Okay.
there's that 1-2-3 punch of Parker, Duncan, and Ginobili.
Right.
Not that I'm comparing those three to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But now you've got John Wall, Paul Pierce, and Bradley Beal. That gives Washington their
Now, Bradley
own
Beal and Paul Pierce had a chance to play together.
against Cleveland.
Besides that one game.
They've played 3 games. Beal has returned for 3 games now.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, and they've won.
Yeah.
It gives Washington their own San Antonio-esque effect. I'm so happy that Bradley Beal's injury was not more than it, than
And
it
he
appeared
wasn't
to
out
be.
for longer. Yeah.
He's great. He's
Yeah.
great. And so is Washington.
Yeah. Yeah.
David Blatt, quote, it's a quote, I forgot to put it in quotes, I'm sorry. Learning on the fly with the Cavs. Your thoughts?
No truer statement has ever been made. He is learning on the fly.
He is, okay.
And if he thinks he's coaching that team, I have a news flash for him. He can say anything he wants in that huddle. He can draw all the pretty little diagrams and pictures and arrows and circles he wants. Let's be perfectly honest. Once that whistle blows and they go back out on the court, everybody looks at LeBron and they do what LeBron wants. Let's be honest, okay?
I criticize.
We
okay.
have talked about this till we're blue in the face.
I'm just going to qualify myself here, okay?
I'm not saying Blatt's a bad coach.
I'm going to qualify myself.
And in his own right, he's done a very good job for himself career-wise. He's the wrong coach for this team.
I'm going to qualify myself because I criticized David Blatt about his EuroLeague experience.
I think that's awesome for the right team.
I do too. But that's the reason you're learning on the fly, is because you have no experience in the NBA.
And he's with the wrong team.
Let's move on from the Cavs, please.
Yes.
Timberwolves' Ricky Rubio unsure of his return. Remember, Rubio, quote, sprained his ankle. It looked more than a sprain to me.
Me too.
Your thoughts
The next question is not even worth discussing.
and how much will it hurt Minnesota
Oh my God! Like they're not pitiful enough as it is.
if Rubio can't play?
Well, they forget it. Forget it. Who else? When you think of Minnesota now, who do you think of?
Thaddeus Young, Kevin Martin.
Can they really do their job without Rubio on the court? Come on. As a team, can they really do their job without Rubio on the court?
They've been doing it.
What's their losses and wins right now?
Did you forget that Kevin Martin just got through dropping 37 without Rubio? They've been without Rubio for 2 weeks now.
I know that.
Of course their record's bad. They got a bunch of rookies on their team.
Yeah.
Of course their record's bad.
Yeah. You really think Kevin Martin can do that for every game?
Not every game, no.
Of course not. No more than we can say that that as much as I love Anthony Davis, he's not going to put up 43 points every
Which
game.
we'll talk about.
Okay?
Plain and simple, I'm going to end this right now. I'm not a fan. I don't dislike Ricky Rubio, but I'm not a fan. I'll admit it. Because I think he's one-dimensional. But at least he's the right dimensional for his position. He's a passer.
He shows up for his position.
He's a passer.
He shows up for his position.
Which is fine.
Right.
There-
He doesn't stand in the middle of the court and try to make three-point shots.
It's going to hurt a
Yeah, it's
lot
gonna
in the
hurt.
long run.
Yeah.
Paul George begins limited court work.
Oh my God, I hope they don't push him. Oh my gosh, I would love to see him come back. But I tell you what, if they push him, he is gonna, if he re-injures himself, he's taking an awfully big chance. He could end his career.
He's not coming back this season, okay? It's that simple. Indiana fans need to stop thinking that, oh my God, after the All-Star break, Paul George is going to come back and
No.
save our season. He's smarter than that. He's smarter than that.
He might be smarter than that. Is the front office and the coaching staff smart enough not to push
Frank
him?
Vogel is smarter than that.
Okay, let's hope so. I hope you don't end up eating those words.
I'm not gonna look. I don't care about the Indiana fans right now. Congratulations, Paul George. He's healing much faster than either of us certainly thought he would.
Right.
And I can't wait to see him come back, because don't forget, he's not number 24 anymore. He's PG-13 now. I think that's cool. You said it's corny. I think it's cool.
It's all right.
I think it's a new start. I think it represents a new start.
Yeah.
I can't wait till he comes back
Yeah.
because the NBA's missing a piece without him.
How much pressure is being applied to him that we don't even know
Right now?
about? In the locker room, from the teammates, from the fans.
I don't think Indiana's like that.
Twitter.
I don't-
All that kind of
The
stuff.
fans are one thing, okay? He's not going to come back before he knows he's fully capable
I
of
hope
playing.
you're right.
Trust me, he's not.
Okay.
Here's a big one. The Bulls lose Taj Gibson to a sprained ankle, expected to be out almost 2 weeks. Yvonne Juno, your thoughts on how much does this hurt Chicago and
Well,
why?
it depends on how many people they're going to let sit down in their GQ suits and not play. Of course it's going to hurt. Especially since you don't have Derrick Rose. And how many is that
Rose and Gasol and Gibson.
now? Okay. Come on.
But Gasol's expected to be back, so. And Pau Gasol don't fake injuries. Okay?
Oh, no, I believe that Powell's... Yeah.
We saw it happen. Of
Yeah.
course he's injured.
Yes, I believe Powell is injured. I believe Powell is very injured.
He's coming back, though. He'll be back.
I believe Powell will push himself to come back faster than the faker will. And you know I'm talking about Derrick.
How much does Taj Gibson's loss hurt Chicago?
A lot. Why are you even thinking about it?
No, I'm trying to think about a more detrimental loss to Chicago
Oh.
than Taj Gibson.
Right now, you can't.
Look, this guy. What can you say? When Chicago's down, when Chicago's struggling.
I hope they did enough X-rays and testing on him, because when he came down on that ankle, it looked like it broke.
When Chicago is
It
down,
looked
when
bad.
Chicago is struggling, there's one bright spot, and it's Taj Gibson.
It looked a lot worse than when Derrick Rose supposedly pulled his hamstring.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt, especially with the rough schedule they have coming up.
Yeah.
The Knicks' Jose Calderon makes his debut against the 76ers in a win. Your thoughts? And how much will Calderon help the Knicks?
I really
Why?
can't answer that question.
Oh, I can answer that
Well,
question
I can't-
very easily.
I can't answer that question. I know the Knicks need all the help they can get. So I'm hoping you're going to say that he's going to help them tremendously, because I want Melo to have some wins. Okay? So, but I don't know enough. I'll be first one to admit I don't know enough about Calderon to say how much I think he's going to help
Let's start
being
with the
out on
fact-
that court.
Let's start with the fact that he's a veteran.
All right?
Been here, done that.
Okay? That much I knew.
It's this simple. You're trying to run an impossible offense without an elite point guard.
Okay?
Calderon gives you that elite point guard.
Well, then that tells me right there he's going to be a
He's
major
going to
factor.
help tremendously. And he did against Philadelphia.
Okay.
Now, granted,
What do you mean by makes his debut?
with the Knicks
Where's he been?
on many different teams. Dallas, Toronto.
Why did they just now get him?
They didn't just now get him. He's been injured.
He's coming off of
This
what
is his
kind of
first
injury?
season with the Knicks.
I
But
knew
he's
that.
just coming off of an elbow injury.
Okay.
He's going to help them tremendously because he's a veteran. He's looked at many different offenses in his career because he's been with many different teams, and he's European. They run different offenses and defenses in Europe than they do in America. Okay? Excuse me. You're trying to run an offense with a non-elite point guard. Well, guess what? Now you got an elite point guard in Jose Calderon. It's going to help. It's going to do wonders. It's going to do absolute wonders. What stinks about it is that the Knicks' schedule upcoming, look out.
It's rough.
Because it don't get any easier. Okay? And you're already 3-10. It doesn't get any easier.
Are they really 3-10?
There's something like that.
Oh my gosh.
And lastly, before we end part 2, Kevin Martin fractures his wrist for Minnesota. and is out to between 2 and 4 weeks. Look, how much does this hurt Minnesota? He just got done dropping 37. I'll answer the question for both of us. Minnesota's done. Minnesota's done. I'm sorry. No Rubio, no Martin. Pekovic has been out. What do you want? It's
What Minnesota's going through right now reminds me of what the Pelicans went through last year.
good comparison. Good comparison.
Reminds me of a couple of games that we went to in person, and you look across the court and you see 4 guys sitting on the bench,
But
dressed
think
out,
about this.
and you think to yourself, "Oh my God, do we even stand a snowball's chance in hell to put any points on the
But
board
let me
at
hit you
all?"
with this. The Pelicans lost their 4 guys in game 29.
Right.
This is game 14.
I know at the beginning. I know. But I mean, honestly, that's what it reminds me of.
Oh, it does.
Minnesota is going, and I think every year there's one team. Every season.
It happens.
There is one, if
It
not
happens.
2 teams that they're just plagued
It happens.
by injuries.
It happens. Part 3 of Full Court Press coming up in just a minute.